when we're assuming these public offices, you need to have a clear conscience, and you need to be straight in what you're doing. But because there's a wrong misconception that for you to go into politics, you need to go and eat and benefit. And I think this is where we're missing it all. But it must be vice versa. It must be the politics of serving the people. I'll give an example. I want to give examples on myself. I will tell you that when I started in Mafinga, you know, when I went there to visit my relatives, I was very touched when I never visited in a long time. You can imagine, I'll tell you, and I'll tell you that honest truth. Me and my mother left Mafinga in about 1979, just when I was born. And then when we left the place, I went back in 2012. And you can imagine how the situation was when I was seeing the situation of the place not being developed. Then I took an interest, and my first interest was not for personal gain, is to help to uplift the living standard of our people. And I thanked God that when we left that place, really, it was a blessing. And then, but I think I was just some months, maybe 2 or 3. That is according to the records of my mother, because I was young. But then we went to Kitwe, and now, most of the people actually don't know that I'm a copper.
You don't sound like a copper.
Yeah, I'm a copper. I can even tell you that from the village, our first house that we occupied was in Chamboli at K24. Then we shifted from K24. We moved into H. So went to stay in H. Then we moved into Sakili, and we used to stay at C427, just near Kana Stadium. There used to be what they used to call a stick where they used to sell charcoal. And from there again, we shifted. From there, we went into Sirod, where I think there was just one line of the houses of footballers, or 2 lines. So we used to live in between. On our right-hand side, there was the late Kapambo Mlenga Gentile. On the other side, there was Mr. Jerko Shinde. Behind, there was Dick Shonga. And the other front, the front one was the late Godfrey Mselepete. So these were prominent footballers. So the issue that I just wanted to pick up that one. So I'm purely copper. And the Uakurwana Center, you know, when the center is produced from the other side. By the way, I must tell you that I cannot stand in Mafinga, that's the Usakira constituency, that's a constituency that I can stand.
That you can stand.
Exactly. Because I'm pure Kopala. My grandfather used to be purely a miner, you know. So now when I wanted to give you this example, now going back to the issue of corruption, because going back to Mafinga and seeing that it was not developed, having a passion. So having a passion and also trying to live within our means. So believe you me, if you are to ask me to say in politics, the way I'm dealing life now at family level, and the way I'm doing it now with this political situation, there's more output to the constituency and to help the people than than actually what the family used to benefit. Was that time the pot where we used to get, it was limited, and it was only family that was getting eating from that pot. Now of the pot, the extra family, that is my finger. But thanks to the CDF issue that came in, which has supported us not to be dishing out money from our pockets, and but you see, people are used. Said, I'll tell you that the politics, the African politics, are that when you address, you cannot just leave people. Actually now, especially the Zambians, the more you address them, they stop listening to long speeches. Not at all. They want to just explain what you intend to do, just touches there, then the next thing, you leave something for salt. So they will use the salt. So in my region, they will tell you, akamche.
Because that has been a serious question that most of us, have had. For those that have been vying for political office, what is the motivation? Is the motivation to amass wealth? And if so, how do politicians, amass wealth in this regard? Because if you say that you went into politics to serve the people, why is it then that under the New Dawn administration we have noticed that amongst some of your party members, some are being found wanting, that they amassed so much wealth whilst they were in office? And just this week, we have seen 2 of them being sent to prison.
Sage, when you are in these public offices, there are too many privileges that comes with and temptations. So first and foremost, I was trying to explain that what is cardinal very important. First, you start with the motive. Why are you starting politics? Number 2, if the answer of joining politics is to go and amass wealth, then definitely you make fast money because there are privileges. You can do it. Because even now, we're the CDF, which as members of parliament, we are the major custodian. Okay? We would have been sending our companies to do transactions, or sending our proxies to do transactions in some areas. But it goes with the self-discipline. Number 2, of course, this is the topic that we can speak to other. Personally, I have been with the situation of the wrangles that we have had in our party, the Patriotic Front. I have been receiving a lot of offers of money. Now, that itself, it goes with discipline and integrity. That is the most important thing. But my brother, today, if I was to say what, I wouldn't even come and be interviewed here. I would just say, hey guys, follow me wherever I want to be, because tomorrow I'm flying out. I need to do maybe 1 or 2 things. And remember, I'm not too old. I'm young. I would have been all over. You get the point. I would have been all over, and I would have been on the topic of the day. But it goes with the discipline yourself wants to be. But now, coming to my colleagues, I think it is the way we were handling issues as PF at that particular time. I think we went too much. I think, where education, the people were educated at some point, education was not making sense. In that our level of Kadaism went beyond the extremes to be taking center stage and running the country. And because of the same, when you have not worked for the money, you use it carelessly in any way, and that's why we used to see people begging the money. Now, remember that we had situations to do with regards to the Eurobonds and so on and so forth.